I want to share today about having Addison's disease in the summertime because things get a little different when it's hot outside. And for someone who lives in Texas, this is something that I have to take pretty seriously. And if I let it fall by the wayside, I can find myself pretty low cortisol pretty quickly. I'm sharing this video today as well because this last weekend I went to the beach and experienced one of my worst sunburns. I'm currently lathered completely in a combination of aloe vera oil, coconut oil, olive oil, and trying to recover from being on fire. It's predominantly on my back, but I am like a gooey, greasy mess. But it reminded me the importance of staying on top of everything with Addison, so I thought I would share. First and foremost, the most important thing we can do as Addisonians when it comes to hot weather is hydration. Hydration is already such a significant issue for us, not being able to retain water and having to put a lot of salt in our water. But when we are hot and sweating, we're depleting water so much faster. So I have a couple ways that I try to stay on top of it. First and foremost, I always have my salt, my pink salt, my real salt, my Himalayan salt, and I put it, I want to say, in every single glass of water that I drink, but that's probably not, in all honesty, accurate. I try to remember to put it in every single glass of water that I drink. I definitely do it in the first glass in the morning and then definitely at night, but I carry it with me in my bag all day. So that way, if I'm filling up wherever I am, I can add a little bit of salt. These Mountain Valley sparkling waters, spring waters, are kind of my go-tos when I'm feeling a little dehydrated or it's extra hot or humid outside, because there's such a significant amount of minerals in it with the calcium and magnesium that it's really beneficial for our bodies. So I'll try to drink some of those. And then I am a big old fan of the glass growler. Glass, because I try to live a zero waste lifestyle and try not to do much plastic. No plastic if at all possible. So I have a couple glass growlers that were for kombucha, but I fill with water, and I try really actively to go through at least 2 of these a day, especially in the summer. But if I'm drinking from this, I'm also going to do more, and then filling up on the go throughout the day. But I'll try to carry this around with me, try to fill it up at least twice. The day is almost done. I'm not doing a very good job, so I better get on it. But I also really have to have cold water. For myself personally, I do not tolerate warm beverages well at all. Warm beverages, room temperature beverages, even just like lukewarm beverages, I don't know why, but they make my stomach feel horrible. I don't know if this is an Addison's thing or something else or just a weird particular Vanessa thing, but I can't do it. So I have these stainless steel thermos style mugs. I have a couple of them that are really big. And I fill them with ice at the start of the day. And then as I'm pouring my water in, no matter where I am, no matter how hot it is, no matter how hot my water gets, the water that I'm drinking is really cold and keeping me cool as I'm on the go. So staying on top of hydration is number 1. Salt in everything, super essential. If I am home and I need to cool off, I've talked about these ice packs before, but they are magic and I love them. I think this is for like beauty, I don't know, beautification and something, but I actually use it on my forehead, or I will put it on the base of my neck, and it just cools me down immediately, which helps me not overheat or get dizzy. So I'll wear that at home. That feels great. I was talking to another Addisonian last night, and I was sharing with her that when I overheat, sometimes I just go stand in the fridge and the freezer, and I just stand there for a little bit until I cool down. Another thing that I am now going to do better about, that I just discovered this weekend, because this was really my most severe sunburn in my life, let alone after being diagnosed and on steroids, is that I am going to, and obviously everyone's different and I'm not a medical professional, but I have found that stress dosing for a sunburn is kind of essential and necessary as your body is going through some massive changes and pain as the sunburn fades. So I literally this weekend stress dosed all the way to 90 milligrams of steroids when I normally do about 20 or 25. I am down to about 40 no, 55 right now. We'll see how the remainder of the day goes. But I'm continuing to taper down from this weekend, from sunburns. So sunburns, definitely got to stay on top of them. I think moving forward, my advice for others and for myself will be to have an umbrella when I'm sitting at the beach for 12 hours, because that was really silly. I was applying sunscreen, don't get me wrong, but clearly that brand wasn't very efficient. But upping your fludrocortisone is another option. So I actually haven't dabbled with this, but I know it works for a lot of people in the heat, that the fludrocortisone is just not enough with their initial dose. So they'll talk to their endo about upping their dose just a little bit, either by half a pill or a whole pill, as needed day to day, to see what works. I know a lot of Addisonians do Gatorade or Powerade or things like that. I personally do not do well with sugars, and I try not to have them in my system, in my body, because I crash really hard after. But I have found this really awesome pickle juice, and I believe it's just called Pickle Juice Sport or something. And I'll try to find the link and I'll include it in here. But it is just straight up sodium, vitamins, dill, and it's organic and pickle flavoring, and it's phenomenal, delicious, and so unbelievably hydrating. I had one of those on our road trip, and it was amazing. It totally helped my body perk right up. So yeah, those are some of the things that I do and that people with Addison's need to be really mindful of, and really just people with chronic illness in general. We have to be incredibly careful with our spoons during the heat, because it can be so depleting. So staying on top of it is really, really important in order to thrive. And don't be afraid to go inside if you need to. I'm a huge outdoor advocate. I love hiking and biking and swimming and being outside as much as possible, but sometimes you need to preserve some energy and preserve some spoons. So finding some time to lay low in the dark, inside, in the air conditioning is okay too. But if you have anything else that you do that helps you in the summer, please share, so that way we can learn together and stay healthy and strong along our journey. Thanks, friends.